Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. Yes, I'm doing a fourth video for you guys yet again today. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Alright, I've got a few people asking me about the dumbbell press, and they've noticed I don't really have dumbbell presses in my novice program or any of the programs that I put out, and I don't personally do them. The reason I don't personally do them is because I have a huge chest from bench pressing, and I don't have to do any dumbbell press. I see it primarily as a weak point training tool for people who struggle with chest development. Now, the biggest mistakes I see people make with this movement is, number one, trying to treat it like a power movement. The barbell bench press is hands down a superior power movement. You will always be able to move more weight. You will always be able to recruit more muscle fibers accordingly and engage the central nervous system better on it than you will with dumbbell presses, and you will always be able to do it safer because you can do it inside of a power rack. A single spotter can always correctly catch it. There's less chance of losing stability and tearing something. So really, dumbbell presses shouldn't be done in the 5 rep and down range, in my opinion. They need to be used purely for more of metabolic work, which means 6 reps and up. And they shouldn't be done as a power movement. Now, accordingly, since they shouldn't be done as a power movement, they're really more of a finesse movement to try to bring up a lagging chest or to focus purely on the chest rather than overall development. Because again, the flat bench is far superior for overall development. So this is just to focus on your pecs with a compound. Biggest mistake I see there is the actual technique people often use on it. Because they'll try to treat it like a power movement still. They'll have their elbows flared out and they'll lock it all the way out at the top. They'll let their shoulder blades come apart just like they might on a power bench at the lockout. When in reality, that does a couple of things wrong. You'll notice when I'm up here doing that my elbows go past 45 degrees from my body, which is automatically dangerous. When you do that on any sort of chest press, you are putting shearing stress on your rotator cuffs, and that's a good way to get a rotator cuff injury, and you have a higher chance of tearing a pec. You need to keep those elbows down at 45 degrees. So how do you do that? Well, I recommend turning the dumbbells in at an angle, a 45-degree angle, so pronating the wrist rather than up here at 90. Or you can even tuck them in tighter and do a full hammer grip. But I find around 45 degrees has always worked best for me when I have done them or when I have people do them. And what you'll want to do when you do that is you don't want to lock it all the way out. What I would recommend, since you're doing this to focus on the pecs, you need to focus on the stretch reflex at the bottom, because that's the advantage that dumbbells have, and that's really the only advantage they have, unless you have a unilateral imbalance left to right, is the fact that you can get deeper at the bottom. So you need to capitalize on that, and what I recommend is keeping your scapula completely retracted. Your shoulder blades should be pulled together. You need to focus on the bottom of the range of the motion, and I recommend only doing the bottom 2/3 if you're going to do them. Just focus on that and skip the lockout so that you're not engaging quite as much tricep and delt, and you're keeping the scapula pulled back together so that you're keeping better tension on the pecs, and then you're focusing on that stretch reflex at the bottom. And if you follow those tips and you use the dumbbell press for your chesses, whether it's flat, incline, decline, or whatever you're doing, if you follow those basic tips, you're going to get more out of the exercise, you're going to get more mileage from it, and you're going to do so a lot safer with a lot less injury, and ultimately end up with a better, fuller chest, injury-free. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you next time.